Vlva, spelled Vllva, and no X before M. Both new brands I'm sharing, and I'm going to explain them in concert because the celebration and worship of Goddess V, or Vlva, as I describe her, has to do with avoiding any premarital intimacy, no X before marriage. Because the only thing that's meaningful in this life is our human flower, Vlva. But in order to make life feel sacred and important, we need to have it so only hetero men and lesbian women and bisexual persons who've chosen to want to marry a woman, and only they are the only ones that should be able to say this name. It's a sacred name. It's a chant, Vlva, Vlva, Vlva. And it's a sound, it's an energy, and it's also the funny thing is it's the tongue, like Vl, and then the ah at the end. So it's mimicking the act that we need to perform on a woman as a part of the process of celebration. And it is important because it's different than a man trying to use other acts of intimacy to get off, and it's not about him wanting the attention, like him wanting his wife, or fantasizing about a woman giving him oral intimacy, which of course is part of the experience of an attached and close marriage where people want to please each other because they care about each other. By the way, when two people are intimate premarital when two people engage in premarital intimacy, all it shows is that they're not committed to each other, and they're more committed to seeking pleasure for themselves. They don't want to find someone they care about and then please that person. And the other thing is that another thing I've been working a lot on is looking at how women's brains work. And regardless of whether they can hold good jobs and make a good income, if they can, that's still not a woman experiencing full womanhood. Like, are there really not enough trustworthy men to be able to provide most women with a good home and be able to be their playful feminine selves? And of course, at the same time, maybe do work in or outside of the house in different settings that are safe for them, where they won't be predated upon, which is actually what happens at a lot of places, whether it's being a nurse at a hospital, whether it's being in a classroom with rowdy, teenage boys who are maybe inappropriately making her life hard, or if it's at a restaurant where she's always getting flirted with, like, women have this way of what's called dichotomous thinking or cognitive dissonance, where they can hold two truths at once. So they don't think that they themselves are lying, but they are. And it's a survival mechanism which was installed over time, where women had to, if their tribe suffered or their husband perished in war conflict, then they could quickly justify going to the other tribe or the conquering tribe, or find another husband, or like if their husband's cheating, they can just find some way to rationalize it. Women are capable of that. They are capable of courageous. Those are courageous things that need to be done in the interest of survival. But we're supposed to be transcending that into a heavenly altered state where the combination of technology and ideology, in other words, treating each other well, good cultures and healthy things, that's the ideology. So the ideology and the technology, it's supposed to combine to make the world an amazing place. But that can't happen, in my theory, unless women are celebrated and men are trying to protect them, and men are wanting to be husbands, and women are wanting to be wives. I think it's more courageous for a woman to want to be a woman, a feminine woman, and insist upon it, and she may need to get in her masculine. In fact, women do need to get into their masculine in order to be alone in this world. But they should be, if possible, if it's an option, they should be both trying to keep themselves pure and unattached for a husband that can, that they can choose, that can provide a good life for them, and it's just, women need to realize they don't do well alone without men looking out for them. And men don't do well either. Men need women for inspiration and to feel like life's worth living, and for like things like having a child and caring for small kids. It's a woman's mind that's suited for that. Imagine, as a man, like having to have a child, bearing a child, and like having to teat the child. That would be intense, right? And women are set up for that, and they're also set up to have the patience to make food and want to serve people and different things. But the thing is thinking that it's a good idea for women to have all these jobs, everything from nursing to what is it called, home, like all these things where women, I mean, it's great. They're using their skills to help certain people, but wouldn't they rather be helping people they actually cared about, like people who were either spiritual family or real family? Wouldn't they rather be taking care of those children as opposed to others' children who may or may not be in the same culture as them? And the problem with it all is it's this socialism thing, but then what happens is if you do too much of that, like have the government try to pay for everything, and like, for example, if somebody owns a daycare, runs a daycare, and then the government pays for the kids' food, and it just, all this stuff about government paying for stuff, it's really just asking other people to pay for women having children. Women should be, the people paying for that should be their husband. And all we have to know, guys, is whenever it seems like everything's crazy, or women seem angry or seem to have a superiority complex, all you have to think in your head is they are emotional and not logical, and they deserve to be protected so they can have that experience of being a woman. Just like, if in my incarnation, if I was a woman, I'd want that. And and also so they can feel celebrated. And that's not possible unless the man, you know, like women think having a job is a great idea, but it doesn't allow them to be a woman, and it doesn't allow the man to really be a man either and feel like, oh, I want to provide for this person. And well, there you have it. It's a cool little update from me. I'm thinking a lot, and I'm going to be publishing more of this stuff, but that's a comprehensive preview of what you're looking at. And you know, even stuff like when people mention like body shaming related to either male or female intimate features, all that needs to be said is vulva. Like, that is a sacred word. That is the answer to our problems. And if women's flower and women aren't celebrated and worshipped, then maybe people should not trust each other and should destroy each other in one way or another. And then maybe in another species, conscious, intelligent species, they can celebrate the female, the woman of that species. But for now, even though we're already saved and everything's already done, quote unquote, because the instant you think of, you know, vulva, vulva. Part of the problem is I can't even say the actual word, you know what I mean, because of censorship on social media. But I invented this word vulva. It's VLLVA, and to me it's a playful modification of the word, and it also is a way for it to be sacred, because it has kind of I think a more special sound and a less scientific sound and a more like organic kind of sacred mantra type of a sound. And there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm excited about it, and we'll be talking more about this, obviously. But talking about it, like, you have to talk about it. If this is what you want your reality to be, then you have to talk it into existence. Program your brain, discuss it with others, debate others, ask people, well, do you think, you know, feminism is such a good idea? That women should rather work than be at home cooking for their husband, if not their children, and raising their children, or do you think that the government should pay teachers to do that, and then the women have to work another job to help pay for that? Like, all that does is put money in more taxes into the system. It concentrates power into the government. We need to decentralize power, so that we can all be more empowered when we are, you know, if we're just one big machine that's the government, then it's easy to destroy. You know, you cut off the head of the snake, you kill the snake. No, we want to be this, you know, collective humanity, but individually strong, individually financially, emotionally strong, so that we aren't so dependent on each other. Otherwise, that just creates these power structures. And power is important, like in companies and in governments. I get that. But in your personal life, you shouldn't be labeling somebody your higher authority. Like, even words like mother or father, not necessary. Maybe for women more so, that they can label them like, but even there, it should be like you're hiring somebody to be your guardian or your male guardian or your you know, spiritual mother or father. Like people shouldn't feel like they're owning each other, only that they're all committed to the same values and interests. And so there you go. Good to be back. Aloha, guys. Remember, no X before M That's no intimacy before marriage. And vlva, VLLVA. That is the two introductions here.